Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news all right. Seahawks fans, buckle up, because there's some serious buzz swirling around the NFL, and it's got your team right in the middle of it. Rumors are swirling that Cincinnati Bengals are pondering a blockbuster trade involving one of their biggest stars, Ja'Marr Chase. Now I know what you're thinking. Chase is young, explosive, and has become one of the league's most dynamic receivers in just a few seasons. But hear me out, because this isn't just speculation for the sake of it. This potential trade could turn the NFC West upside down, especially with the Seahawks looking to solidify their offense and push for deep playoff runs. Sources from NFL.com are indicating that the Bengals are seriously considering moving Chase to Seattle. Now, it's not just a simple swap. Cincinnati reportedly wants a first-round pick in the 2027 draft and a backup wide receiver in exchange for their star receiver. Why would they do that? Well, after a rough season where Cincinnati stands at 7-8, and with their offense having stagnated, averaging just about 21 points per game, they're feeling the pressure. Their front office is prioritizing rebuilding their defensive line and managing cap space, especially with Joe Burrow's future extensions and other financial commitments. Chase, who's just 25, is a top-tier receiver, no doubt, but the Bengals are apparently cautious about the hefty $30 million annual salary he's commanding in a team that's trying to reset. Now, let's talk about Chase himself for a second, because he's one of the league's most electrifying receivers when healthy. Known as the Speed Demon, or Lightning Bolt on the field, Chase has been lighting up the NFL with his explosive speed and ability to turn short passes into big gains. Over his 5 seasons, he's hauled in 378 receptions, racking up over 482 yards and 42 touchdowns. His yards per catch sit at around 14.5, which is pretty incredible considering his ability to stretch the field. In the 2024 season, he's already amassed 104 receptions for 450 yards and 9 touchdowns, with a PFF grade of 90. Which positions him as one of the most efficient and dangerous receivers in the league. But what makes Chase a perfect fit for Seattle? Well, for starters, his ability to create mismatches, especially alongside a guy like DK Metcalf, would be game-changing. Metcalf, with his 78 receptions planned for 2025, is already a dominant force, and adding Chase would give Geno Smith a duo that defenses would struggle to cover. Chase's yards per route, projected to be around 20 yards higher than Metcalf, means he can be the kind of playmaker who can turn a third and long into a big gain or help set up deep shots that keep defenses honest. His ability to gain yards after the catch, with a YAC of 512 yards so far in 2024, adds another layer to Seattle's offense, making them even more explosive and unpredictable. Now the Seahawks have been building a versatile wide receiver core, but adding Chase would elevate their passing game to a new level. Considering the Seahawks' offensive efficiency, which currently ranks around PFF 80. Integrating a talent like Chase, who's been rated at 90. Would be a major boost. His presence on the field would also create opportunities for Lockett, who's proven to be a reliable target with a 12% boost in catch rate when paired with top-tier receivers. Imagine the mismatches, the big plays, the red zone threats. This could be the kind of move that takes Seattle from a good team to a true contender. But of course, no trade comes without its risks. The Bengals might be thinking about the long-term plan, especially with their cap situation and the need to focus on their defense. They're prioritizing their defensive line, and it's clear they're willing to part ways with Chase if they believe the return helps them rebuild faster. Moving Higgins in 2024 was a step in that direction, but losing Chase, a player who in 2024 has been averaging 450 yards, would create a significant gap. The Bengals are probably weighing whether they want to regress a bit this season, or if they're willing to gamble on younger players and draft picks to rebuild their team around Burrow. From Seattle's perspective, this deal would be a statement move, signaling that they're not content just competing but aiming to dominate. The Seahawks have been steadily improving, And with Geno Smith leading the offense, they've shown they can compete at a high level. Adding Chase would give them a true game changer, someone who can take over games and elevate the entire team's confidence. It would also serve as a message to division rivals like the 49ers and Rams that Seattle is serious about reclaiming the NFC West throne. Looking at the bigger picture, this trade could have ripple effects across the league. Chase, as a potential X-factor, could boost Seattle's odds of making a deep playoff run. Right now, the Super Bowl odds for the Seahawks are modest, but with Chase in the fold, those odds could shift significantly. In fact, the Super Bowl betting lines currently list the Seahawks at +4-0, but with a move like this, experts believe those numbers could drop to +1-300, making the Seahawks genuine contenders. The NFC odds, which are around +2-0, could also tighten considerably, especially if Chase and Geno start clicking like they did in college. And let's not forget the impact on the NFC West. The 49ers, who have been dominant with their stout defense and versatile offense, could see their edge diminish if the Seahawks pull off this move. The addition of Chase would make Seattle's offense not just explosive, but also unpredictable, creating mismatches in every phase of the game. It would force defenses to double-team and shade coverage, freeing up other playmakers and opening up the field for the running game or tight ends. Now, this move isn't just about immediate impact. It's about legacy, about setting a tone for the future. Chase is still in the prime of his career, and if he joins the Seahawks, he could become a cornerstone of their offense for years to come. The Seahawks have a rich history of drafting and developing receivers, like Steve Largent and DK Metcalf, and Chase could add to that legacy, becoming one of the franchise's all-time greats. His speed, combined with the Seahawks' innovative offense and talented quarterback, could make this a perfect storm for offensive fireworks. Of course, we have to consider the possible hurdles. The Bengals might be hesitant to part with Chase, especially if they believe they can turn things around with Burrow healthy and the right supporting cast. The Seahawks, on the other hand, would need to weigh the cost, not just in draft picks but in cap space, and whether this move aligns with their long-term vision. But if they pull it off, it could be the kind of trade that defines a season or even a decade for Seattle. And as we get closer to the trade deadline, all eyes will be on Cincinnati and Seattle. Fans are already speculating about the potential chemistry between Geno Smith and Chase, imagining those deep bombs and quick slants that could leave defenders grasping at air. The Seahawks have been building a balanced team, strong defense, versatile running game, and now, possibly, a game-breaking receiver. If this trade goes through, it'll be a game changer, not just for this season, but for years to come. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you guys think? Is Chase the missing piece the Seahawks need to take that next step and become Super Bowl contenders? Or is this just wishful thinking, a pipe dream that Cincinnati fans and management aren't ready to part with? Personally, I think the potential here is huge. Chase's explosiveness and ability to change games on a dime could be exactly what Seattle needs to elevate their offense to new heights. We've seen flashes this season of what Geno and the crew can do, but adding a player like Chase would be like flipping a switch. Suddenly, the Seahawks become a team no one wants to face in the playoffs. And let's be honest, fans, this franchise has a history of making bold moves. From trading for players like Jamal Adams to drafting L.J. Collier, the Seahawks aren't afraid to take risks when it comes to building a championship team. If they manage to pull this off, they're not just making a splash, they're making a statement. The NFC West will have to watch out, because Seattle would be reloading with one of the league's most electrifying receivers, ready to challenge the best and push for that elusive Super Bowl title once again. In the end, whether or not this trade happens, it's exciting to think about the possibilities. The Seahawks have the talent, the coaching staff, and the passion of the fans to make a deep playoff run. But adding a player like Chase could be the final piece that cements their place among NFL's elite. It's a storyline that's unfolding right now, and we as Seahawks fans should be ready for whatever comes next. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seattle Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news.